Good morning, Dopey. Your favorite podcast. Now a YouTube show.
Good morning, Dopey, and welcome back to Good Morning, Dopey, our deep yet often shallow dive into the daily reflections. My name is Dave, and I'm with Howie, back in the Dopey studio, just like old times, right, Howie?
Just like old times.
How do you feel?
I feel wonderful.
Today is May 29th. Howie, have you been watching the daily reflections?
Every day.
And anything
I
you
subscribe.
Any criticisms, any thoughts about how I've been conducting it in your absence?
Yes, they look horrible.
Do they?
Yes.
Okay, any other thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, you've gotten very good at doing them.
Have you taken any wisdom away from them?
Yeah, I actually do.
No way.
In a general sense.
Oh, stop.
Sure
You're watching the daily reflections and taking away wisdom, really?
well, I watch them obviously as I'm editing them.
Right. Oh, right.
And yeah,
I
don't
rip
know
through
that
them, right? I'm just ripping through them.
Right. I don't know that I would say that on a daily basis, but I think the general sense, because it all seems to, sort of blur together for me, but I definitely feel I love the message.
Do you feel like you're on a spiritual high?
I do.
You do?
No.
Why are you
For
such
the
a
purpose of this video, I do.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. All right, today is May 29th. I'm going to read some old comments. Amy Hopler Mitchell is just a dynamic Good Morning Dopey viewer. And she wrote, right before I got sober almost 15 years ago, I read this one already.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
When?
I don't know, on a different one.
Why would you do that?
We're not going to read comments. Fuck it.
You don't want to read one comment? Must be a positive comment. Way to tighten it up. Oh, here we go.
Hey. What's going on?
Me and Lucy are about to ride home. So can she come back to our house? And then she could be with Susan with me. I promise we'll do a good job.
Sure.
Okay.
Love you. Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I think you should just go into it.
Huh?
Read a comment and then go into it. Just get a comment ready, and I'll cut
Okay.
right before you read it. Just say, I'm going to read a comment.
Okay. Aaron Carr superfan Baked Not Fried says, Aaron is so pretty. Scotty Bean says, Dopey Gang.
Aaron Carr wrote, Aaron is so pretty?
No, Baked Not Fried wrote, Aaron is so pretty. I think he's a stalker. If Aaron Carr is not too careful, I bet Baked Not Fried is in the incinerator room on her floor in her apartment building, waiting. All right. Today is May 29th.
I'm sorry.
True tolerance. Oh, fuck.
What's the problem?
I feel like I did this one.
You want me to check?
Let me check. Hold on.
Can you get another comment and just read the other comments so we can get this clean?
Dopey. My name is David, and welcome to another episode of Good Morning Dopey, our deep and shallow dive into the daily reflections. Today's May 29th. And
Yeah, we did that
Okay.
one.
So let's start with the 30th.
All right.
You didn't do the 30th yet?
No.
Okay. Do the 30th, but read a comment. Get a good comment. Just read it. Why don't you read a comment about the Tom McDonald stuff so that the 200 people who watch this will watch that video?
What are you talking about?
Say, I'm going to read a comment about our highly controversial interview with Tom McDonald, lightning rod of controversy, and then just read a positive comment. This is the best interview Tom has ever done in his life. David M. David M. writes, this is the best interview I've ever done with a guest. Is this guy doing your lawn still?
Somebody doing somebody else's lawn. All right.
Are you reading comments on YouTube?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were reading like. Oh, that makes sense. I thought you were reading like mail, but of course it's just a comment. So you're looking for comments. All right, do you have one?
From Tom McDonald?
I don't know. Any comment?
I just went and got Tom.
Okay, good.
All right.
So just start with. Let me
All
read
right.
a comment.
Now, Howie is obsessed with the Dopey Tom McDonald interview. Howie, do you want to speak about this?
I think it's a great interview.
He never shuts up about Tom McDonald, and he wants me, instead of reading one of your comments, the Good Morning Dopey crew, the Morning Dopes, as I call you throughout my day.
Yeah.
Morning Dopes.
I want them to see the interview.
I'm sure the Morning Dopes have seen the interview with Tom McDonald. Leave it in the comments if you have or if you haven't. I live, for whatever reason, to make Howie happy, and I don't know how that fell on me, but here we are.
That's what you said.
Janet M. This is for Howie. Just to make sense, this is a comment about the Tom McDonald interview, not about the Daily Reflections, which is what we're doing, and that makes sense to you, right?
What?
To do a comment about an
Tom
interview
McDonald.
when it's nothing about this.
Because everybody should be checking out the other stuff that's on the channel.
He's so fucking thirsty for clicks onto that fucking interview.
Views.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
Janet M. 2 weeks ago says, "What a fabulous interview. I'm a huge Tom fan and now a Dopey fan. Love the way you just had a conversation with him, like he was Howie." What?
What?
No spin, no narrative, and you just allowed him to get his whole story thoughts out. No cuts, no edits. Tom is one of a kind and is someone very special. I'd like him to shave me bare. I think that's possibly why he struggles with so much with his anxiety.
Right.
It was like the universe was pushing him to be his real self.
Are you making this up?
No.
This is a comment?
Yes. And go where he was meant to go and realized he could do anything, or realized he could do anything. I'm so glad Tom is well, Tom. He's right. No one can replicate or replace him. The work he does is important for the country, the world, and I believe humanity in general.
What does that mean? No one could replicate or replace him? Did anyone accuse him of not being...
Well, I heard that there were people trying to make a new Tom McDonald right now, and she's making it clear that nobody could replace him.
Another Tom McDonald.
Yes.
Okay.
The work he does, again, is important for this country, the world, and I believe humanity in general.
Oh, my.
He's making real changes where real changes start, in the hearts and minds of an individual, bridging gaps. Thanks so much. 1M.
This was not the kind of comment that I had in mind.
What did you want me to say?
I thought it was going to be more like, "Dear Dave, this was an amazing interview with Tom McDonald. Good for you. Keep it up. Go F yourself," or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't, all right, whatever. So it's
You want me to read another one?
Please don't.
Here, I'm going to read another one.
Oh, God.
This was such a good interview.
Yeah.
This is Leslie Bates, 22.
This is David.
Again, this is from the Tom. I don't know why we're doing this, from the Tom McDonald interview, and this one's even gonna be longer than the last one.
No, please don't.
Just
don't
to torture you.
Don't read it. I can't.
Okay, all right.
Just paraphrase.
No, what's the point of reading if you're gonna paraphrase?
It's too long. Isn't there a short comment?
Hold on. Here's a short one. Mm-hmm. This is 424 Stormy Girl. Amazing. That was awesome for sure. I was emotionally connected when Tom talked about his code for feeling suicidal, that something was going to happen. I got that because my code for feeling that way was I need to go home whilst I was sitting in my actual home. I'm a huge fan of Tom before this interview, but after this, it's gone up 100-fold.
Is this the best interview you've ever done?
Thank you, Dopey Podcast, for doing this one, and thank you, Tom, for being your open and honest self. As I've come to expect, I wish all good things for you. Much love, Stormy Girl. You want me to read another Tom McDonald comment? Maybe this is just going to be Tom McDonald.
The whole thing is just reading
No,
Tom McDonald.
today's Daily Reflections. I got to shut the window because that noise is making me crazy. Hold on, everybody. And here comes the train.
That's funny that those comments are so long. That's great. That needs to be the kind of comment that you find on every single.
All right. Today's May 30th. It's my friend Robbie's birthday, so happy birthday, Robbie. Our primary purpose, the more AA sticks to its primary purpose, the greater Tom McDonald will be in the universe.
It says that in there?
The greater will be its helpful influence everywhere. It is with gratitude that I reflect on the early days of our fellowship and those wise and loving foresteppers who proclaimed that we should not be diverted from our primary purpose, that of carrying the message to the alcoholic who still suffers. I desire to impart respect to those who labor in the field of alcoholism, being ever mindful that AA endorses no causes other than its own. I must remember that AA has no monopoly on miracle making, and I remain humbly grateful to a loving God who made AA possible. That's nice. Right. The primary purpose is to carry the message to the alcoholic who still suffers. And the idea is that if you carry you can only... The greatest... there's a lot of paradoxes in Alcoholics Anonymous, Howie, as I'm sure you're aware.
No, I wasn't. What do you mean? Like, give me an example.
I hate doing the daily reflections with you.
Can't you give me an example? I'm not being an asshole. I want you to give me an example. You said there are a lot of paradoxes.
Okay. Here's the biggest example is you can only...
Sit back in your chair so we can't see
you. You can only keep what you have by giving it away. That's the greatest...
I see what you're saying. Okay,
that's the greatest paradox in AA.
You can only keep what you have by giving it away.
There's a lot of paradoxes. Another one is stick with the winners, but don't take other people's inventories. Like, how are you going to stick with the winners if you're not taking other people's inventories?
Interesting.
But this one, the primary purpose of carrying the message to the alcoholic who still suffers, the point is, if you're actively carrying the message, you stay in it.
Okay.
So you preserve... it's one of my favorite... I can't believe I've become this weird AA big book evangelist thumper guy. It's very weird, isn't it?
It was weird when you showed up at my door with a book and started doing it.
It's very weird, isn't it? But something me and Chris used to say all the time was we were so hungry for listeners to the show.
Yeah.
We wanted the show to be really big. And there was a piece of the big book that said, it talked about this grizzled old prospector in search of the limitless load. And he finds that he can only score the limitless load if he gives all of it away.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of funny jokes you can make about loads and stuff.
Right.
But, and limitless load. And like, we wanted this huge audience and we were not altruistic and we didn't really want to, we just wanted it for ourselves.
Right, you wanted it for your audience. Yeah.
But I find that when I'm doing this work, spiritual work, that I actually feel better. I feel great, when I give it away.
Sure.
And that is the primary purpose. That's it. Do you have a comment you want to make before we move on?
No, I think it's great.
May is almost over. Please comment that you're happy or displeased that Howie is back on the Daily Reflections. Stay strong, Dopey Nation, and fucking toodles for Chris.
Dopey, I'm face down on the floor. Dopey, please sir, can I have some more? Dopey, said Dopey.